Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court, I'm going to be brief. I know we had discussions in chambers. Mr. Brzezowski has a very long record. He's not proud of it. I've had numerous conversations with him over the past couple months. He stood up, took responsibility for this case early on. He is here today to beg the court, he's here hat in hand, for the court to consider giving him an opportunity at community control and possibly chance to go back into a treatment. There is a bed waiting for him at the Matt Talbot Center in the Cleveland area. While this case has been going on separately, there's been cases out of Cuyahoga County that he's pled to, and through those cases, he was referred to the Matt Talbot Center, and then he's been in our county jail, so he hasn't started his treatment there. But, Your Honor, he's got a history of various offenses, but specifically here with forging checks, cashing them for the money. He was doing it in this case. He was doing it in Cuyahoga County. Mr. Brzezowski has a drug problem. I know he told probation in this case that for this matter, he used the money to buy an urn, Your Honor, but he also in the past has used money to purchase drugs. I'm asking the court, these are nonviolent offenses. He is remorseful. Again, he's taking responsibility. I'm asking the court to please consider placing him on a community control sanction, giving him an opportunity to go to Matt Talbot and put the ball in his court, Your Honor. If he doesn't follow through, and I know his history isn't promising. I know he's had probation violations in the past, but if he doesn't follow through, then he knows that he's got up to 2 years hanging over his head here. So I'm asking this court to give him an opportunity to show this court that he is serious this time, that he wants to turn his life around and hopefully sober up. Thank you, Your Honor.
In today's courtroom, we're watching a familiar but powerful clash. A defense plea for mercy versus a judge who has seen it all before. Our defendant isn't here on a minor slip-up. We're talking repeated fraud, forged checks, and a lifetime of bad choices wrapped in apologies. His attorney paints a picture of a broken man seeking help, complete with a rehab bed waiting and promises of change. But here's the tension. Promises are easy, patterns are hard to break, and this judge specializes in reading between the lines. As this hearing unfolds, watch how carefully the judge presses details, exposes inconsistencies, and tests whether this is genuine remorse or just another performance polished by experience. We'll see shifting stories, forgotten locations, and names the defendant suddenly doesn't remember. Stay with me, because by the end of this hearing, it becomes painfully clear that not every emotional speech earns a second chance, especially when the facts refuse to cooperate.
All right, Mr. Brzezowski, what do you want to tell me?
Your Honor, I just, like Mr. Watson said, I ain't proud of my record. I've been struggling my whole life with a drug addiction. I've been on, just placed in situations that I had some control over and made terrible decisions. I was also placed in situations I had no control over and made good decisions. And this one is just another opportunity, Your Honor. I'd like to show you that I can be probationable and I can be monitored. I can succeed, and I will, and I can sober up.
Then why haven't you? If you can do all that, why haven't you done it?
I've still been hanging on to records of my past, in which I've made an attempt, and actually I've cut 2 people out of my life since I've been in this county. Actually, in Cuyahoga also, I haven't contacted the woman I was involved with. I haven't contacted her.
Who's that?
That was Lori Wood.
How'd you get involved in this scam with these checks?
I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I found a bag on a job site with a checkbook in it.
What job site?
It was, I forget where I was at. I think it was like in Middleburg Heights or somewhere, Wycliffe or some. It was a
We-
commercial. It was a commercial job site.
Who were you working for?
I was working for Novax at the time.
What's Novax?
It's a painting company. The union that I was laid off
Okay.
because of my drug problem.
So you're working at this job site in, where'd you say, Fairview?
I believe it was Wycliffe. I think I'm not sure.
Didn't you
And
say,
I found a bag. I found a duffel bag, backpack.
didn't you
and it
say
had a
Fairview
checkbook in it.
first time?
Excuse me?
Didn't you say Fairview the first time?
No.
I believe you said Middleburg Heights, Your Honor.
Middleburg Heights. And then now it's Wycliffe?
I'm not sure where it was, Your Honor.
Okay. So what did you find?
I found a duffel bag, a backpack with a checkbook in it. And the job site was empty because we're the last ones on the job. So it was basically just in a pile of sweaters and jackets. So I kept it. I kept the backpack. I kept it in the vehicle for a while. I probably sat on it a couple months, and rummaging through my stuff, I found it. And basically, I was, at that time using. I had been released from jail, I believe,
So,
and I went back to the woman I told you about, to that house,
to what house?
to my address that I have.
Okay.
And this, like I said, I haven't made no attempts.
Then that you knew exactly what the hell was going on.
I didn't realize the severity of the felony, the offense. I thought, like I said, I thought it was going to go against my collection or credit report.
This is a classic courtroom moment. The defendant insists he can be monitored, can succeed, and will get sober. Notice how every promise is future tense, all about what he will do, not what has already done. Judges don't just listen to words, they measure them against history. And his history? Multiple violations, failed supervisions, and a track record that contradicts everything he's selling here. When the judge asks the simplest question, then why haven't you? There's no clear answer. Instead, we get vague references to wreckage of the past and cutting people off. This is where credibility starts cracking. Change isn't about poetry, it's about proof.
I wasn't that smart to know that I was committing a crime.
So you're either in Middleburg Heights or Wycliffe, and you find this duffel bag full of checks of a company that's in Willoughby, right?
I don't know where the company's at. I can't even remember what
Okay,
it was.
So, and then the duffel bag sat in the car for a while?
Yeah.
Months? And
About a
then,
month or so.
and then you decide to do what? To take one of these checks? What did you do?
Yeah, I took one of the checks and signed it and made a withdrawal.
What do you mean you signed it? It was a blank check, right?
I put my name on it.
Okay.
Signed it to me.
So you signed it, paid to the order of you, filled in $2,000, and then what'd you do? Sign the bottom of the check then?
Yeah, I believe so.
And
This is so long ago. It's
who's Dusty Mays?
I have no idea.
Where's Ace Cash Express?
I'm not sure. It's a check cashing place, I'm sure of. Nonetheless, it was foolish, Your Honor.
Who's Constance Wagner?
I believe that was probably another check I wrote.
Okay. Well, who's Constance Wagner?
I have no idea.
Why did you make out a check to Constance Wagner?
I was using the money to get the drugs, Your
I
Honor.
know. Why Constance Wagner?
I'm not sure.
Why did you make a check out to Dusty Mays?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
Okay. Why don't you have a discussion with him, and he can decide if he wants to keep lying to me,
I mean, I don't know.
or if he wants to be straight with me. Okay.
Understood, Your Honor.
Here's where the story starts drifting, and the judge notices. First, the defendant found bag. Then he forgot about it for months. Then he was somehow talked into signing checks he supposedly didn't understand. Each new detail pushes responsibility away from him and onto circumstances, drugs, or other people. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Forging checks doesn't happen by accident. It takes planning, decision-making, and multiple steps. Judges pick up fast on this subtle tactic, minimizing intent while maximizing sympathy. And every time a location or date changes, his credibility drops even further.
All Donald wants is the truth.
Who's Constance Wagner?
I believe that was the name on one of the checks that I cashed, Your Honor.
Right. So when you went to the bank, or when you went to wherever you went, and you presented a check made out to Constance Wagner, I assume they asked you, are you Constance Wagner?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes,
And you
they did.
said, yes, I'm Constance Wagner?
Yes.
Why didn't you make the check out to like a male so they could probably see you're not a female when you walked in with the check?
Well, like I said, Your Honor, I wasn't in no shape or form. I was under the influence of drugs. I didn't even know where this took place. I forgot all about that incident. Also, it's been quite some time since these cases happened. Like I said, but I totally forgot. I'm not trying to lie. I just didn't remember, Your Honor.
It just seems curious to me that you wrote out checks to two females, presented the checks to cash. Did you cash any of the checks?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'd probably if I have this case, I'm sure they went through then.
You mean, so what you're telling me, you've done this so many times that you can't remember this one?
No, Your Honor, it's been quite some time that has passed, and I apologize.
It was a year ago. Okay. So you had these checks in your possession for a month, at least a month, right?
Yes.
It went from several months to a month.
And I know about the tech company is the checks that I had in my possession.
Right. That you found at some
Yes. During the course of me.
some building that was not in use when you were on a painting job.
Yes.
Okay. So presumably TKR Tech, whose checks they were, had been out a bunch of checks for at least a month, up to several months, and didn't report it until the day you walked in to try to cash it on July 20th of 23. That seems unlikely to me, that they would just be missing checks and not know they're missing
Well,
checks.
I believe that the people at the check cashing place knew that I wasn't who I was saying I was.
You mean they got clued in that you weren't Dusty Mays?
Sure.
Imagine that. So you were doing this completely on your own. Is that right?
No, Your Honor.
No. Then
No, I mean I was being driven. I had somebody drive me.
who?
A friend.
Who?
Antonio Harris was his name.
Who's Antonio Harris?
He was the one that took me to the check cash.
I know, but he didn't just pluck you out of thin air and drive you to the check cashing place. So who is Antonio Harris?
He was somebody that I was in contact with that showed me where to cash the check.
Okay.
How
How were
cash
you
the
in
check.
contact with him?
To a drug dealer
When did you get in contact with him?
prior that month.
When you found the
Probably
checks?
probably a week before I cashed it.
Okay.
Probably a week or so before I attempted to cash it.
All right, well, so what'd you tell Antonio?
I'd give him money if he drove me. He told me I would be able to cash him there.
So Antonio's the one that directed it to Ace Cash Express?
Yeah. I didn't have a vehicle.
Where is Ace Cash Express?
I'm not sure.
Is it in Ohio
Yes,
somewhere?
yes, Your Honor.
Is it in
It's
Cleveland
in
somewhere?
Cuyahoga, probably, or Painesville out here. I'm not sure.
So first you went to 185th, right? You know, this,
I don't remember the sequence, Your Honor, how it went. I really don't. All I know is I made one horrible decision after another.
right.
I got involved with somebody that I had no business dealing with,
Who?
Mr. Harris,
Okay.
who led me to believe that it would be simple and easy and none of this would happen where I am today.
Watch how sharp the judge is here. He zeroes in on the location first. Middleburg Heights? Wickliffe? Fairview? When someone is telling the truth about a major event, the basics don't change. But when a story is patched together on the spot, details slide around. Then the judge moves to the checks themselves. This isn't confusion anymore. This is a pattern. Blank checks filled out, names written, amounts entered, signatures signed. Each step is deliberate, not accidental. The defendant's response? I didn't realize the severity. That line is a courtroom classic, and one judges have heard far too many times.
Me being strung out on drugs and desperate like I was.
Well, but
I wasn't making.
you didn't cash a check to get money for drugs, did you?
One of the checks, yes.
I thought you cashed it to get an earn.
I used some of the money, yes. My granddaughter at the time during this had passed away. And what led me to come across was I was digging around and I found that checkbook. And I found the checkbook and I asked how I could get money out of this, who would be able to help me with these checks. And I was led to Mr. Harris. And I cashed several checks, Your Honor. And the money I used for drugs and the money I did do something with, but I'm not making an excuse. I'm just telling you what happened. I was dealing with a woman I'd been involved with for 10 years, a drug-induced relationship solely out of convenience, trying to stay on.
See, these checks weren't found by you in a backpack in a building that was unoccupied. These checks were taken from the business. 3 checks were taken from the business. Care to elaborate how they were taken from the business?
That I don't know. That I don't know, Your Honor. I did find the tech company checks. I did find those. The other ones were given to me,
By who?
Mr. Harris, with the attempt of cashing them.
So now
I
we
didn't
go-
steal the checks from no company or no
So
no
now we
business.
go from, you found them in a backpack in a building that wasn't occupied that you were working at, kept them for a month to several months in
The
the
tech
car,
company.
in the car, and then decided to cash them and called Harris to find out where you could cash them. Now it's, you just found one of them and Harris gave you the other 2.
Yeah, I had the tech companies, and that's how I was led in.
Now things get even more interesting. The judge brings up specific names tied to the checks: Dusty Mays, Constance Wagner. Suddenly, the memory loss becomes selective. He remembers addiction, vague job sites, drama with relationships, but not the people he wrote checks to. That's a red flag. The judge asks a brilliant question. If you're clearly a man, why write checks under female names? That isn't confusion, that's strategy. And when the defendant finally admits he claimed to be Constance Wagner at the bank, the mask slips. This isn't misunderstanding. It's fraud, intentional, practiced, and repeated.
To Mr. Harris, because that's what he was into.
What?
I had the company, the tech company, the TKR tech company. I had that checkbook. I wasn't sure on how to write checks or how to get money
You had
or
a
where to
checkbook.
go.
You had a checkbook, is that what you said?
Yes,
There were 3 checks.
I didn't count the checks, Your Honor.
Oh, Jesus.
And by making the attempt of the TKR tech companies, that's how I was led to do it again.
I don't know what you mean by that.
I found somebody that could help me cash the check, the tech company, and show me where to go to cash it and how to cash
What do you
it.
mean the tech company? You found.
How to write
so,
the check.
So how did you know Harris had 2 checks from TK?
I didn't.
You didn't. It was just a coincidence that you found some and then he had some?
No, it was. I was given his phone number because that's
By
what
who?
by my dealer,
By your dealer. How did your dealer know to give you Harris's phone number?
because that's what the guy's into, I guess, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, what did you discuss with your drug dealer?
I asked him. I said I tried to write checks. I said I have a checkbook. I don't know how to get those money out of this company. Where could I cash the check? He told me go to a check cashing spot, or I didn't have a vehicle. And I said, well, who would, you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
And he gave me this guy's number to call him for a ride. I gave him a ride, and this is what the guy was into.
And Harris
Since
just
I was so willing to
and
cash,
Harris just happened to have 2 of these checks himself from TKR.
no,
You,
those
well,
were
you
in my
just told me
possession.
a couple
Those
minutes
were in
ago.
my possession. The TKRs were in my possession. The other
You-
checks
you-
that you're talking about, I don't know where they came from. All I know is I attempted to cash them.
What do you mean? What other checks you didn't know where they came from? What checks?
Well, if there's a Constance and
Well, you said
the
you
hard-
told me you wrote them out. You wrote it out to Constance Wagner, right? Isn't that what you told me before I left a little while ago? Didn't you tell me you wrote it out to Constance Wagner and then presented that to try to cash it, and they wouldn't cash it?
yeah, that is what happened.
You can feel the judge's patience thinning here. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't insult. He just keeps asking questions, because lies collapse under pressure. The defendant falls back on the same safety net. I forgot I was using. It's been a long time. But then the judge hits him with the most powerful reality check so far. It was only a year ago. Not decades. Not childhood. Just 1 year. When someone claims they want a second chance, the court expects clarity, not fog. And right now, the fog is getting thicker.
You haven't said one honest thing to me since I walked in here. Your story has changed so many times you can't keep your lies straight. I mean, I know who Dusty Mays is, okay? But you profess not to know who Dusty Mays is. You made a check out to Wagner, you did make a check out to Wagner. Harris had 2 of these checks somehow, and you just hooked up with him through a drug deal. Man, this is one of the single worst stories I've ever heard. So, what else you want to tell me?
I mean, through this, Your Honor, I am confused about these dates and these checks. I know the Constance. I don't remember exactly on what order I tried to cash these checks in, or if I even did cash the checks.
I mean, if you're making up a name, somebody to cash a check, Constance Wagner,
That's what I'm saying. The checks were
Waggoner is a strange name to make up.
those checks were already made and given to me to cash
By who?
by Mr. Harris.
You're the one. You told me that you found them.
I found the TKR tech companies. I found one checkbook. That's how I got involved with this guy to begin with.
Did you give him the checkbook?
I did give him the checkbook.
This is a fluid story.
But I know I attempted to cash the checks, and I don't even remember if the checks were cashed.
So Harris wrote Dusty Mays on it?
I don't even remember writing that, Your Honor.
No, I asked you, did Harris write Dusty? You said Harris filled them out.
Yes, he had to.
He wrote Dusty Mays
Yes,
on it?
yes,
He
I
wrote
didn't.
Constance Wagner on it?
Yes.
I mean, were you dressed up like in a wig or
No,
something that you
no.
appeared to be a female?
No, I was given